Yesterday I finished an anime. I finished 703X, Fastest Finger First, and it is about competitive quizzing. Because Japan can turn basically anything into a competitive sport now. Essentially, it's about a main character called Koshiyama, and Koshiyama he goes to a new school, right? And they have a quiz bowl club, which is basically quiz competitions. And what happens is when he goes to he meets this girl first of all called Mari, and basically she tells him about the Quiz Bowl Club, and she thinks he'd be perfect for it. And he ends up joining and going to one of their small quiz meets, and he ends up really getting into competitive quizzing. The way it works is questions are read, and you have to be the first one to press your buzzer. And if you buzz in and get the correct answer, then you win a point. If you get the incorrect answer, then you either penalized a point or you don't get a point, depending on the rules. But the reason it's called 703X is because seven right answers and you win, three wrong answers and you lose. And it's honestly a decent show. I did enjoy it. The first half sort of focuses on the more training side of things, getting you introduced to the games and whatnot. And the second half is more the competitive side of things. I really liked I really liked the feel of the show. It did feel a bit, while it wasn't super hype like other sports anime, it did feel very fun, and it did feel like I was at the edge of my seat watching, like who's gonna be the fastest one to buzz, because you'd think it's just quizzing, but there's a lot more to it. As with most sports anime, there's a lot more to it, and so there's like a technique on how to push the buzzer. It's called pushing in, where you press down on the buzzer, but it doesn't make contact with like the metal plate inside. And then there's also like the determining point, like when they're reading the questions, you have to know when is the right time to press your buzzer, how much of the question to hear before pressing your buzzer, and it's called a determining point, the point where you could determine like what the answers are, like the hint in the question, should I say. And there's a lot of different I don't know, techniques and strategies and things, and it does get a bit interesting later on as they have like sort of different types of games with rules. Like at the very end of the competition that they have sort of rules where you can subtract points from your opponent if you want. And my only problem with the show is that I feel like it's held back by its episode count. It's a 12 episode anime. It's by TMS Entertainment, who did Doctor Stone, Fruits Basket, Detective Conan, Lupin the Third, and Kami-sama Kiss, and Rent a Girlfriend as well. But they they only made it 12 episode show, and I feel like that holds it back because half of the show is spent at like the competition stage. If they had spent like, if they had made it a longer adaptation, like 24 episodes, it could have been a lot more interesting and exciting. They could have had, I feel like the manga's finished, and I feel like the manga probably has a lot of potential story-wise. Like I really liked the rivalry the main character Koshiyama had with Mikuriya, who is one of the opposing opponents from an opposing school, and there was also some developments with like the female character Mari and like her brother who used to play Quiz Bowl, and there were a lot of things that weren't like fully explored. I feel like they could have had a 12 episode series. The entire first half, like the first 12, 13 episodes, they could have had focused on like the training stage and some smaller competitions or meets as they like to call it. And the second half could have been like all going out on like the competitive stage. And then they could have done it like Food Wars, where they sort of ended in the autumn arc, the fall arc, right at the end of the first season. They could have done that, and then the second season would have been even more high stakes competition. It has the potential for like, I feel like it has the potential to be like Chihaya Furu length kind of thing. And I would have loved to see that. And honestly, they say you'd think competitive quizzing can only be entertaining for so long, but I really do feel like this show has potential, and I feel like it could be, really good. And so yeah, I definitely if you like your sports anime, like anime about shogi, the kind of the board game sports anime, uh, shogi, karuta, like Chihaya Furu, March comes in like a lion, um, uh, whatever else other ones they have, like board games, whatever those kind of sports have, like the non-physical activity sports, then I think you'll really like 703X Fastest Finger First.